Good day, friends. Today I'm intending to discuss with you the very interesting topic, which is age-old controversy or a very disputed topic which was discussed between theologians and philosophers. The topic is purely of philosophical nature and which I'm going to discuss with you. The topic is determinism and human freedom. And because in dealing with human nature or a human being, it is very important that we have to discuss this both metaphysical and ethical question, that of determinism versus human freedom, or putting the problem in the form of question: are human beings really free, or are they totally determined by all the forces working on them from conception to death? If there is a case to be made for freedom, then another important question will be, to what extent are human beings free and to what extent are they determined? So, before discuss this topic, I would like to, in determinism, there are various kinds of determinism, various types of determinism. One is genetic determinism, the second is anatomical determinism, the third is harmonical determinism, the fourth is psychological, the fifth is natural selection theory, the sixth is the religious determinism, seventh is physical determinism, eighth is environmental, economic, and social determinism. So, before we discuss, there are various kinds of determinism: hard determinism, soft determinism, fatalism, and indeterminism. Hard determinism actually means the same as universal, which can be stated if for every effect there or result, occurrences, event or happening, there is a cause or causes. So in the hard determinism, a form of determinism that states that universal causation is totally incompatible with freedom, and that freedom is an illusion because everything and everyone are determined to be what they are by causes over which they have little or no control. So, soft determinism says that this is a form of determinism that states that even through there can still be a freedom, especially in human realm. Soft determinism even goes so far as to say human freedom is possible only within the framework of universal causation. From the viewpoint, then freedom is definitely not incompatible with universal causation. Another is fatalism, that determinism in both forms is that assume that whatever occurs is outside of human control. Everything is irrevocably fixed no matter what human beings do. Indeterminism says that every cause, that some things, especially human decision and actions, are uncaused. So, fatalism, this theory held since early time, that in ancient Greece and Rome, much less was known about physical, chemical, and biological nature of universe than is known in our century. In the early Greek tradition, characterized in Homer, Iliad, and Odyssey, human beings are seen as noble, magnificent creatures, but under the control of the whims of nature as personified in the gods. For example, as strong as Willie as Achilles, one of the heroes of Iliad, in the attempt to hunt down and kill Hector, a god who favored Hector, caused a fog to hide him, which enabled Hector to escape. So during this period, fate and destiny were those unknown controllers of the lives and death of human beings. Human beings might think or feel that they had control or freedom over their lives, but fate and destiny might have other things in store for them. This is beautifully presented in Sophocles' play, Oedipus the King. In this play, Oedipus is able to solve the most difficult riddle of the Sphinx, which indicates his great intelligence and his strength and his bravery. A ruler is later proved after he marries Jacusta, the queen of Thebes. He becomes its king. However, a prophet tells Oedipus that he will kill his father and marry his mother. Two of the worst crimes in ancient Greek culture, patricide and matricide and incest. Unknown to Oedipus, he has already committed both deeds. He had killed his father, he had married his mother. Sophocles showed in this play that no matter how intelligent, strong, or decisive a human being was, his fate and destiny were already decided for him, and there was nothing he could do about it. What this theory says that then is no matter how we plot or plan, no matter how we try to think out every decision or action, fate will somehow step in and run our lives for us. Therefore, if, for example, we are due to die in a war, it doesn't matter whether or not we wear a helmet or stay in a bomb shelter or a trench. For if we are meant to be hit by a bullet or a bomb, then it will get us no matter what we do. Many people state the theory this way: no matter how we do think, what happen will happen. As in Italian says, "Chio sarà sarà." What will be, will be. Another form of determinism is indeterminism. Indeterminism will accept causality and another parts of nature except of human realm. Although they may argue that there is certain amount of freedom even in a physical realm, especially at the subatomic level of nature. They will also go so far as to accept some causation in the human realm. For example, in the area of an autonomic nervous system and the reflex action. However, they feel that to the extent we deliberate, choose, and act, our actions are not determined but free. So, soft determinism, we have another form of determinism, another form of, we have hard determinism. Hard determinism states that freedom in any sense is incompatible with universe, because since everything is caused, eventually causes for human action will end up outside of human and outside their control. True, say, hard determinism, determinists, human decision and action may change or affect some event, which is why they disagree with fatalists. But those decision and action, when traced back for far enough, we discover to have been caused by something else and eventually by something over which we have no control. So we have religious determinism, predestination. This type of determinism say that Everything that has happened been preordained or predestined by an all-powerful, all-knowing God. According to this view, because God created the universe, everything in it, including human beings, He has the power to do anything, and He knows everything that has happened, is happening, and will happen. Therefore, everything in the world's past, history, present, and future is foreknown and thereby predestined. For example, God has decided that I will lead a good life and go to heaven. Then I will, if I decided that I will lead a good life and go to heaven, if on the other hand, He has decided I will lead a bad life and go on to hell, then I will do that instead. I have absolutely no say over what or anyone else does, because everything is predestined, programmed, predetermined by an almighty supernatural being. This theory of predestination was almost strongly presented by Protestants and theologians and the religion, every religion. They say that everything is determined by God. Everything is written. Whatever you will be, you will be. No man have no control, no freedom over his destiny, he cannot change his fate or his destiny. So another determinism nowadays we face, that is scientific determinism. Both physical and natural science depend upon experiment, constancy, and prediction in their search for knowledge and truth. They must accept universal causation. This had led many scientists to presume further that such causation means that there is absolutely no freedom in the universe. Not all scientists accept this extreme point of view. Nevertheless, some of strongest argument and evidence for determinism have been put forth in 20th century by the natural and physical sciences. So we have in a scientific domain the physical science or physical determinism, which says that everything observable, even things observable to the naked eye, such as atom, molecule, is physical in nature. Then everything that occurs to these things and everything they do are caused by one or another physical law or event. Since according to Newton, human beings are also physical in nature. Newton was a materialist human being. Newton was, so we have no choice, but we are determined by this physical law. Biological or genetic determinism. Biological determinism been exemplified in Charles Darwin's theory of natural selection, which he presented in his most famous work, The Origin of Species. Darwin believed that various species in nature evolved at different stages in history of world, and that the only fittest survive. For example, even though some prehistoric animal, dinosaur for instance, were extremely large and powerful, their brain capacity and mental ability were so limited that they did not survive. Whereas smaller and more intelligent beings such as humans did. Darwin suggests that this process of natural selection essentially has nothing to do with freedom. He believed rather that it is a nature that governs through its various processes the makeup, strength, and the survival potential of various species, and the species that emerge as dominant are determined by the stage along the evolutionary scale at which they appear. More modern, sophisticated, this version is theory. So, historical or cultural determinism. This is, we have a very Georg W.F. Hegel, 1717 and 1831, developed a deterministic theory that was based on history. He believed that various periods of world history are manifestation of absolute mind that is trying to realize itself in a state of perfection, according to Hegel. He also believed that the basic nature of reality and world is rational and mental, and that the physical world is merely a manifestation of absolute mind. Intellectual growth toward perfection. The implication of this theory are that we are neither responsible for nor able to control the period of history or the culture in which we are born. Rather, the character and action of all individuals are determined by their own culture and all preceding cultures and historical event. Furthermore, since history is a manifestation of absolute mind that exists in the universe and that is attempting to realize itself, then we too are a result or a manifestation of that absolute mind. So we have another type of determinism, economic or social determinism. Karl Marx, 1818 and 1883, the famous economic philosopher, for Hegel's theories, followed the Hegel's theory, believed that our character and actions not so much historically determined as they are economically and socially determined. Marx's theory, called dialectical materialism, states that human beings are determined by an evolutionary economic class struggle. According to Marx, this evolutionary process led from early agrarian economics through monarchies and feudalism, through the rise of middle class and industrialism to capitalism and eventually to socialism. He believed that people cannot control the economic class into which they are born, and yet their natures are determined in every way by this. He further believed, as Hegel says, that there is inevitable force in nature economically